All right, we're going to practice with the chi-square test again. So in this case, we've got how students passed, whether they passed with honors, passed, or failed, and who their teacher was. So my null hypothesis is that these things will be independent. So my null hypothesis, so I don't know how we should call this, like pass type or results. I guess we could call this results. So results and teacher are independent. My alternative hypothesis, results and teacher are not independent. Okay, degrees of freedom. So in this case, I have 3 rows and 3 columns. Remember, I don't count the total row and column when I'm thinking about rows and columns. So degrees of freedom are going to be 3 minus 1 times 3 minus 1. 2 times 2 is 4. And again, I can see that in my calculator. So now, my table of expected frequencies, so I can calculate that by hand using the probabilities, but again, my calculator is going to figure it out for me if I type in all my values. So let's pull in all our values here and then add those to our calculator. So I'm going to go into matrix, and now I'm going to make a 3 by 3 matrix. So 3 by 3, and I'll put in all my numbers and not putting in the totals. And 45 and 13, and then 20, 30, and 15. Okay. So now I'm going to do my chi-square test. So stat, test, chi-square. All right, observed, expected, calculate. So there's my degree of freedom of 4. Here's my chi-squared value, so I'm going to go ahead and write that down. So my chi-squared calculated value is 12.3. So that's D. So that's chi-squared calc was about, I've already forgotten, 12.32. And now I can go look at my expected values by going into matrix and then looking at matrix B. Notice the calculator, if I go back to this matrix menu, it automatically overwrote B. I don't need to change that out. So I can get matrix B and hit enter, and then I can see it. I'm going to drag this over here. So now I can see my expected values, and then I could, there we go, or not. Okay, now I can see my expected values. I could write down my table of those. So 29.79, 26.00, it's telling me to 2 decimal places. So I'm going to write that down to 2 decimal places, 9.21, 50.42, 44.0, 15.58, 29.79, 26.00, and 9.21 again. So there's my expected values. My critical value is 7.79 at the 10% significance level. So if I think about my graph, it would look something like this. Here's my 7.79, 10% rejection region, 90% acceptance region. I know that 12.32 is well over here. It's greater than 7.79. Therefore, we reject our null hypothesis. which leads us to believe that result and teacher are not independent in this situation. Hopefully that's not true in every situation.